trying out this new software that allows me to live stream from mobile, even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. So, I think I got the app stable and working. I'm waiting to see if somebody comes in and then what happens from there. It says I have one person. I don't know who that is, but I have one person. Hey there, person, three people. Somebody type something in chat so I can see. I'm trying to test out this software on my phone that allows me to live stream even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So I want to see what happens. Somebody type something in chat. See how it pops up on the screen. Oh, there we go, Cooter. Okay, it does come up on the screen. Good stuff. Good morning, Cooter. How's it going, buddy? It's a lazy Sunday morning here. Fiance's still sleeping. I haven't yet got the courage to go out and do any work in the garage, so I'm just hanging out. Cooter. It's an app called Prism, PRISM. Um, it's like a multi-streaming software app, but I I'm I search around. I'm kind of a tech guy, so I've been looking around for a while on a way to circumvent the 1,000 subscribers going live thing, and this seems to be um, a viable option. I mean, it seems like you guys are coming through fine, and I'm on mobile. Uh, just so you know that I'm not tricking you or anything. Like I'm picking you up, I'm moving. There's no cords or anything around. I'm on my cell phone on my couch in my living room. I have it on my little tripod set up and all this, but yeah, it's this app, and you could stream to like multiple different platforms at the same time if you had that. Like you could do Twitch and YouTube and multiple different ones with the same stream at the same time. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it might be the same app. I usually there's like a watermark on the screen. I turned that off. Hey Doug, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. So um, yeah, so I'm really just testing it out. the The horrible thing is that at my house, I live kind of out in the country. It's a really small town, and I don't get really good cell reception even though I have Verizon. So I have the best option that there is out here as far as reception, but we're so far out and we only have like one tower like 5 miles away. So I don't get great service. So if I'm not like in the garage, I really don't get very good Wi-Fi. So I don't know how it'll work out there. It'll probably be like laggy and horrible. But as far as in the house and all of this so far, it seems to be pretty good. Um, like I said, I've just been trying to find a way to circumvent this whole 1,000 subs live stream because I was live streaming well, not a lot, but decent amount before they changed it. And I mean, it's not really necessary. It's just nice to kind of like hop on here and talk to you guys a little bit and see what's going on with you. Um, I know there's been a lot going on. Let's see, I got three of you in here. I know I got Doug. I know I got Cooter. I don't know who the mysterious third person is, but what do you really think of what's going on with all this icon hype? Like, what what do you guys see? Like, give me your opinions. Like, from, I mean, I know what I see, but from somebody else's point of view and whatever experiences you've had with watching videos or doing whatever, what do you guys see when you see all this icon stuff, because like I was never really that hype about it. I was kind of interested. It's nice that Harbor Freight's trying to like up their game a little, but it's just not something that I think is going to bode well for them in the long term. And it might, it might end up being like a really good thing for them. Maybe it'll transform their whole demographic and they'll cross over into, some kind of weird tool truck store combination. I don't know. But I know as far as everything on YouTube, man, like I'm getting real tired of it. Like it's a lot of it's a lot of PR at this point. Like I don't even think, and I'm not saying the tools are bad. I am saying I don't think the tools are worth what they're asking for it, but that, you know, is neither here nor there. Prices could come down later, or, you know, something could happen there to make them a little more reasonable. But I mean, even if they are more reasonable, I mean, there's what the Pittsburgh Pro. It's like a dual flex head, like quarter and 3/8. It's the long one with the individual flex heads at each end. It looks kind of like a double open-ended wrench, but it's a ratchet. There's that thing, and it's I want to say it's like $25 or somewhere in there, 20 $25. I've wanted that thing forever, but for whatever reason, just because of the price point, man, like I can't pull the trigger on buying it because I just can't justify spending that much on that slightly gimmicky ratchet that I might not use that much, you know? Um, that being said, I am working on, and I think I may start getting away from my Harbor Freight stuff a little bit because obviously they're getting to be a little divided as far as the icon stuff. So I might start looking at other places, other tool brands, because I've been doing a lot of research lately. And even though I'm cheap, I was looking at some of the stuff like one of the guys compared the icon stuff to Carlisle. I didn't really watch the video. He's local to me somewhere. I think down by like the Cincinnati area. So I mean, it's not super close, but in terms of the YouTube world, I mean, we're in the same neck of the woods. So I try to support him, and I'll throw on his videos. But he's been on that icon hype, Redemption Garage, and so I did watch that a little bit, and I mean the similarities are striking, but there are like I've been looking at Williams, and some of the proto stuff is a little expensive, but I've been looking at some of these other options, right? And in all reality, for what you're getting for the prices that they're asking for some of this literally American made stuff, some of it really isn't that bad. Like, I'm not saying like I'll go out and buy like a big ass wrench set or something for like $200 for like some of the stuff that they're asking. But like, if you're just talking about like a ratchet or something specific that you're trying to get, the prices really aren't quite as bad as I thought, right? Like, I'd feel a lot better paying $30 for like let's just say like a 15-inch, half-inch ratchet or something, as opposed to paying $20 for that gimmicky Harbor Freight one that I was talking about earlier. Uh, you would feel a little bit better. You're getting a lot better quality. You're definitely getting a warranty. Obviously, Harbor Freight has a warranty too, and that's just about the same. But I don't know. The Made in America thing would tip it over the scales for me because I've always said I want to buy Made in America, but a lot of the prices are ridiculous. And like with this icon stuff, they're just I've never seen such a dedicated PR campaign. Like there was a little camera a little tiny like Tic Tac looking thing that came out recently, and a lot of the big camera channels all got it at about the same time, like like product review kind of stuff. But the thing with that was, like, they all got it at about the same time. I had heard nothing about it before it came out, or before they got it, so to speak. And it's a real gimmicky little camera. It's not that cool. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it only records like, I think it's like 5 to 15-second clips. And hey, what's up, Captain Ron? So anyhow, everybody got this little camera, and it was um done by like literally like it was like 10 different camera YouTubers, all like within the same like 2-day period. But every single one of the reviews, like, they didn't even really talk about the company. They didn't talk about anything really but the camera, what it could do. And so, like, I look at that PR campaign. They literally just handed it out to a bunch of people and said, here it is, check it out, do a review, whatever. And that was okay. With this Icon stuff, man, I mean, we had so much hype before it even came out. Then, like, what the first thing that I think really happened that I was aware of was the bear found that toolbox somewhere in California, and then some other guy from like Let's Drift Media or something, he ran out there too, and went out and checked out this toolbox. And that was like, okay, like, we kind of expect that. They're getting ready to roll them out. Someone finally put one in a store, okay. And then Justin Dow got his phone call from the Tecton team. And Dow's big. I mean, he's like, what, like almost 20,000 subscribers or something now. So I'll give him credit where credit's due. And I've been with him, subscribed to him for like a while. I mean, I want to say, I think he was still, I think it was around like 1,000, 2,000 subs at that time. Like, he blew up in like the last year and a half, but I took like 9 months off. So anyhow, but so I've been with him for a while and seen his stuff. And so for him to say that Icon called him, like, I was like, oh, like, this is actually, that's kind of cool. And I was really attentive, seeing what was going on with it. And he still didn't get like a whole lot of information. And then I seen this guy, Redemption Garage, the guy that's kind of local to me. I seen him like the next day come on and say, hey, well, I got a call from the Icon team. And again, I like that guy. I'll support his channel. He's local, so, anybody in my area doing stuff like this makes me not look like a fucking crazy person. So, I was all for that, and I watched some of the videos. But like at that point, I started scratching my head, going, okay, wait a minute, what's really going on here? Because Redemption Garage at that time, I want to say he was only like 7 or 8 thousand subs, something like that. I think he's up to 10, maybe 11 now. All the Icon stuff's helping him out a lot, which is great for him. And kudos to him for getting that opportunity, and that's great. And I'll support it as much as I can stand to. Watch those videos. Sometimes I just turn them on, set my phone down, and let it play. Giving him that watch time, but not really paying attention to all the Icon hype. But at that point, that's where, like I said, I started scratching my head, like, what are they doing? Because he was small, well, relatively small, much bigger than me, but still small. And I'm like, okay, he got a phone call. All right, like, okay, they're trying to get some word out there. They're trying to dispel some hype and make sure people understand the features. Okay. And then everybody started getting tools. So Justin Dow, I think he was the first one I saw. Or no, he might not have been the first one. It might have been Redemption Garage. Might have been the first guy to get some of those tools. And he got actually what looked like a pretty big haul. He got the wrenches, he got some ratchets. Like, I mean, and for the prices that they're asking, I mean, that's a lot of stuff. And again, good for him. Fully support, uh, him growing, and you know, it is what it is. So, and I'm like, okay, like he got some tools, and then Dow got some tools, and I'm like, okay, like Dow got some tools. At this point, I was starting to kind of catch on. Like, all right, like they're trying to showcase them, a little bit. Okay, and then yesterday, um, the Den of Tools, who I've watched for a long time as well, even before I started my channel, under a different YouTube name, obviously, but even before then, I've watched his stuff. I was subscribed to him at one point, and then something happened. Like, he made a comment to something I said once on my Just Wrench It, and like that kind of turned me off a little bit. I still watch his stuff, but I unsubscribed. Subscribing at his level doesn't really matter anyway. It doesn't matter how many subs he has. That doesn't get him any more money. The views get him money, so he doesn't need my one subscription, and he still shows up in my feed like constantly. So it's kind of a moot point. But so then yesterday, he posted like a one of the YouTube posts of him like in his garage, and him like he had gotten delivered a complete icon toolbox setup. I mean, as far as I can tell in the pictures, it looks like the complete setup. Uh, and like I must have been one of the first few people to see the post or whatever. And like I was watching it, like, and I see it, and I'm like, at first I just see it in his garage, and I'm like, okay, so he got, okay, maybe they gave him like an early release, something. Okay, so then I'm reading through the few comments that are there, and one guy asked him like, well, what's the price? Like what'd you pay for it or whatever? Because everybody's still kind of up in the air about the pricing. And he literally comes back and replies to this guy about the pricing and goes, oh, well, we don't know for sure, but the rumor has it, like, da 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 da, starts with his speculation about what the pricing is going to be. So at that point, we're getting ready to leave, go to like a birthday party for kids, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, wait a minute. He doesn't know the pricing, which means he didn't pay for it. And again, I'm not hating here. That's all well and good. Like, I'm all for YouTubers getting products. I've been working on it myself. So far, no luck. But I am still a really small channel, so that's not really surprising either. But I'm like, okay, so he got this toolbox. We estimate that this toolbox is worth $10,000 or just under, somewhere around there. Okay, and so I commented on here. I was like, wait a minute, like, they gave you this for free? Like, you don't know the pricing? And I posed the question, which in my eyes at that price point is a reasonable question. I don't have it in front of me, but it was basically, I asked him, okay, so how are you going to remain unbiased given that they've just dropped an estimated 10K in your lap? And he responded to me a little bit later, and he responded to me twice, and we'll get to that, but he never really answered the question. His first response to that statement was basically by accusing me of that, which I don't know what the accusation was, but by accusing me of that, you're basically saying you would sell out your ethics. To which I am perplexed, but regardless. So I saw that response, and I'm like, okay, like I don't know why he's calling my ethics into question, but okay. So then I reply back again, and and told him, like, hey, like, no, like, I feel like it's a legitimate question. I'm asking, like, how you're going to do the review, and like it be an honest review, because I mean this thing is worth 10. No, this is not about helmets. Old helmet. But I'm referring to something that happened in a comment section about me and the Den of Tools yesterday, about a toolbox that he had been given. So he gets this toolbox, and I comment, like, basically, like, how are you going to do an honest review? And I stated there that I made no accusations about him being a shill or anything like that, which I genuinely don't think so. Some people out there actually think that he is, and that's whatever. I don't think that he is. It was more kind of like a heads up, maybe like constructive criticism, like, hey man, like, you better do a really good job on this review, because if not, if it's like a kid's gloves kind of, oh, everything's great, it's amazing, like, that's not probably going to go over well, because here's my thing. And then he replied to that statement and said something along the lines of, basically, people who get stuff for free do better reviews than people who paid for stuff. I'm guessing there that the logic is that somebody who paid for something is going to be less likely to admit that they fucked up, like that they bought something bad, right? I don't believe that. I think, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I buy something that's trash, I want to warn other people that it's trash, uh, so that they don't waste their money. I think that's a lot of that goes on in the tool community, and maybe that's why we get so heated over brands and things from time to time. But so all this happened, and I'm like, okay, here's my thing. Okay, you have. Oh, it's not a video, it's a post. He did like a YouTube post, Cooter, and it was just a picture of the toolbox in his garage, all up in the boxes and everything, basically saying that he had just gotten it. So it's like, it's one of his community posts or whatever those are. You could go find it if you looked at his page. But anyway, so here's my thing with this. Okay. And then everybody in the comments starts bitching. A lot of people agree with me. To my knowledge, last time I checked, like halfway through yesterday, it's still like the top comment as far as thumbs and all that. My two comments to him are the top comments. So a lot of other people kind of think the same way I do. But then there's a lot of people in the comments defending him as well and saying, oh, well, he just got a product to test. Here's my thing. Okay, you have product testing. And like some of the more expensive stuff, like, okay, let's say iPhone, right? When the new iPhone comes out, a lot of people get it. A lot of people get it for free to check it out. Sometimes, if there's a couple different versions, sometimes they're even lucky enough to get like two, right? They'll get like the big one and then the smaller, more efficient one, or whatever. But sometimes they'll get like up to two iPhones to test out, to do reviews on, and things like that. So, slightly expensive product testing is not completely uncommon, but that is Apple. That's a very large company. And I'll wait if anyone wants to do a Google search or try to find another example. But I have never seen, in all of my time on YouTube, I've never seen a product review of a product of any kind that's valued at roughly $10,000. That's something that I've never seen, and that's why I was so critical of him. And I was trying to, I don't care how he took it, he got real defensive real quick, which is whatever. But I was more, like I said, trying to give him a heads up. Like, if you don't do this right, people are not going to believe your review because it's so expensive. I mean, it's not like, okay, what's a base car? What's a base car? Like, let's just say the base model Kia sedan, like, I don't think they do roll up windows anymore, but the lowest trim package, let's just say you get one for 10 grand, which you can't, but let's say you can. That's the equivalent of Kia coming to a YouTuber and going, here's a brand new car, do a review on it, it's yours for free. Have you ever heard of that? No. Nobody has, because that shit don't happen. That's like unheard of. I have yet to see anybody do a product test for a product that's valued at $10,000. Find another example. I'll be happy to, put that into my notes. But the only way, there's a couple things, and this is gonna sound, I don't know, it might sound like I'm a hater. I promise you guys I'm really not. I support him. I watch his stuff, like I said, because I know he does this full time. I do this for fun. Maybe one day I'll get to the money making level, but right now this channel and all the associated work and tool shopping and giveaways, all that is a red line at the bottom of my balance budget. So, whatever. But there's two ways really I could see this going okay for him. And the first is that his review needs to be as scientific as possible, right? And this is my thing. This is what I was trying to tell him, and somehow didn't get conveyed because he got real defensive real quick. But, like, what I was basically saying is, like, yeah, like, you need to do a good review. If it was me, and I'm not saying this is easy to do, I'm not saying that in the real world it's going to be real simple, but if I were him, I would find someone with the Snap-on Epic, which is what they compare this thing to, right? I would find someone with the Snap-on Epic, and I would do, you don't have to be side by side. It could be filmed in two different times, but do the same test. Load 2 drawers down with a shit ton of tools, the same amount of weight, excuse me, and get like a fish scale. If you guys don't know what that is, it's literally what they weigh fish. It's also like a pool scale, and it measures the weight of the pool. We use it at work for some stuff, and they work really well. So you could do that. You could load down that drawer and do a pull test with this scale, and it will give you a weight rating of how much force it's taking to pull whatever you're pulling. So you could do that. You could do like a fully loaded drawer pull test to see how, right? Like, is the drawer slides holding up under the same load to the Snap-on Epic? Do they pull better? Are they smoother? Does it take less force to pull these drawers? That would be a good test. The other test would be just to like fully load the toolbox, right? Find out what the weight rating is, load that sucker up, like completely load it, maybe even overload it like a little bit, and then roll it around, right? It's got these casters on it. They're supposed to hold this much weight or whatever. Roll it around a bit. See how hard, how easy it is to push around when it's fully loaded, because I know most people, I mean, depending on how you're moving it, but I mean, mechanics, the guys that buy these toolboxes, these big ones, are going to move them from time to time, especially if they change jobs or something. And not every time do they unload the toolbox completely. So it'd be nice to see how it does as far as that. I would measure the gauge thickness of the steel in the drawers, in the sidewalls, like in as many places as I could find, and compare those to the Snap-on, see how that goes. So there are a couple examples there, and I'm sure there could be more, but there's like the first way I see his review should go, because then no matter what anybody says about him getting a $10,000 toolbox or whatever, you can't dispute that. Like, if if the Icon drawers pull at a lower weight rating than the same weight in the Snap-on drawer, and he shows that on the scale as he's pulling, you can't refute that. You can't refute that. You can't call him a shill or say that he's doing something, or it's a whatever. You can't really dispute that as much, because I mean it's right there in front of you. It's a scientific test to see how the drawers perform. So I think that would be one way, right, for him to do it. The other way was actually suggested in the comments of his post, and that would be, and I know how this sounds, so you take it for what it is. The other way, he literally says in the comments and stuff that he doesn't need this toolbox. He claims that he can't sell it. I wonder if that's something from Harbor Freight, like they agreed to give it to him and said that he couldn't sell it. I don't know, but he claims he can't sell it. He doesn't need it. But somebody suggested, like, hey man, you should give this away, which I know he does this for a living, right? I know that. And this is, to my knowledge, this is where at least some main portion of his income comes from. And he's got kids, and I mean, we all got kids, most of us. So, the thing is, giving it away, number one, would be huge for his channel. I know most of you guys don't know who Mr. Beast is. He's a popular YouTuber. He's gained a lot of popularity in the last couple of years, but he gives away ridiculous amounts of money, things, cars, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's nuts. But the thing that he realized and caught on to real early was, if he did these outrageous things and did videos on them, the thing feeds itself, right? So he gets a sponsorship, let's say for 10 grand. So then he takes that 10 grand and he gives it to a homeless guy. And then that video gets millions of views. And so then he makes a bunch of money off that video. He gets more subscribers. He gets another sponsorship deal for 50 grand. He gives that 50 grand to a waitress at Hooters or some shit. And then, boom, that video gets more views, more subs, da-da-da-da. And that's kind of, not the complete formula, but that's somewhat of the idea that he's got going. And people love it. Because he does really good things with his money. It's not all just for views. Like, he really does care about the things that he's doing, helping people and things like that. So this would be huge for the Den of Tools to give away this toolbox after he's done his review. And then I think more people would be inclined to kind of believe whatever his viewpoints are. I mean, right now, from what I can tell, it's probably about 50-50. Like, some people think, like, it's impossible for him to give an unbiased review because it's a $10,000 toolbox that he got for free. And some people think that his integrity is somehow so paramount that it cannot be questioned. Like, well, how could you assume that he's not going to do a good review? So, yeah, I mean, I know American Dream. Sorry, it's hard for me to read since I'm on mobile. Yes, American Dream. I know when he just did a toolbox comparison, what was it? I think it was a Cobalt and maybe a Milwaukee or something. It was like a mid-range toolbox. I know when he got done with those, he sold them. He bought them, did the video, tested them out for a while, did another video with his thoughts, and then he literally made a post about someone coming to pick him up and said that he sold them. So, in that aspect, and I'm not dogging that either. I'm not saying that's full within his rights to do so. I mean, yeah, if I got something for free and I didn't necessarily want it, I might sell it. Chances are I would probably give it away. But, I might sell it, and that's fully within his limits to do that. But with this toolbox, the problem is, like I was saying earlier, you can't find many examples. If there are any out there, I would be surprised. But you can't find many examples of people getting products to review of this magnitude financially. $10,000 estimated price. That's a pretty substantial product review. And then, I mean, there's no debating that at the end of this thing, he still has this $10,000 toolbox, which is a very tall order for anyone. Most guys can't even look at this icon stuff because they can't afford it, right? So the problem there is $1,000 iPhone, maybe two of them for really big channels, much bigger than his. That I can kind of see. I know some other YouTubers. Okay, I know some really big YouTubers. Not like personally, not like we hang out, but I in contact and stuff like that. And I asked one of them who's got 400,000 subscribers. I said, "What's the most?" And he's like a tech guy, right? And does tech reviews and things. And I asked him after all this happened. I messaged him yesterday, and I said, "Hey, like, just out of curiosity, what's the most expensive product you've ever received for free to do a review on?" And he said it was probably valued at about $1,200. It was a camera from some camera company, and I don't know a lot about cameras, so I don't know what all the specifics were. But he said it valued like MSRP at about $1,200. I doubt it sold for that, so let's just call that 1,000. And he has 400,000 subscribers, and most of his videos have, you know, about that, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but that's about the range of his viewership, is about the 500,000 range. So a channel that big is getting these products, and then you have the DenaTools with 40,000, I think, subscribers, who's getting, and most, like, his best videos are about 500,000, but there's only a handful of those that have that many views. So he's getting a $10,000 product to review. It's abnormal, okay? It's not, this shit does not happen on a regular basis. And again, I'm not hating on him. That's all well and good. My whole point was, you gotta do this right, because you've stepped over, okay, product reviews, right? Like we said, that let's call it 2,000. You might get $2,000 worth of product to review, right? So then sponsorship usually starts at somewhere around like 3 to 5, and it can go way up. Like Mr. Beast, I know he said it was like a series of videos that got sponsored, but he got $100,000 from Quid or some company that he was basically doing ads on his videos for. And that was a sponsorship. And he talked about that in one of his videos. He goes, "Yeah, I got this sponsorship, and then that's how I fueled all the money for all my videos and my giveaways and all this." So he's like, basically, I get a sponsorship and I give it all away, which is great for him. But so at the $10,000 value mark, whether it's you're getting a paid sponsorship or, in this case, a product review, you are way outside the normal limits of product review. You've, at that point, crossed over into sponsored territory, right? So, and that's why I said what I said. I wasn't trying to be a dick to him, you know? Like, I really wasn't. Like, I get this all the time because I question authority and I call people out on dumb shit. Like, I can't help it. It's something that was, I don't know, ingrained in me from a young age, I guess. I don't know. Like, I have this much tolerance for dumb shit and bullshit, and shit that just don't seem right. I mean, I got in trouble at work for questioning one of the senior members of management. Not really questioning him, but basically saying that what he was instructing me to do was stupid and useless and yada yada yada. And yeah, I pretty much used those exact words. A little more kinder. But yeah, for the most part, it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no point to it. And I said this right to him, right in front of his face. And this guy's on the board of directors for our very large company. Um, so, and then of course, there subsequently, I get my boss pulling me over to the side, screaming at me that I'm questioning senior management. And I told him the same thing. I said, well, if somebody says something to me that doesn't make no fucking sense, I'm going to tell them it don't make no fucking sense, right? I mean, that's just it. Like, I'm sorry that your bullshit doesn't make sense to me, but I think pretty logically most of the time. Like, I'm a pretty good problem solver and critical thinker. And if somebody starts saying shit that don't make sense to me or seems to be way too complex for whatever their goal they're trying to achieve is, I'm going to call them out on it. And what I was doing here was just telling this dude to be careful about his review. And that's what I wanted. If he would have came back to me and said, "Oh well, I've got some stuff lined up. I'm gonna try to keep this as, specific as possible and technical, and that way, my opinion doesn't matter as much, and the numbers or whatever stats or figures are gonna, you know, lead the review. That's what's going to be the primary factor is the price point versus the quality of the toolbox versus how it performs. Like that would be acceptable to me, because then at that point, you know, you've done something, you crossed over into that scientific side to where you're not just giving your opinion. I think at this point most people aren't going to. Okay, the video froze. That's weird. Are we still on? Um. So, did the video freeze? Or are we still live? I don't know. Did it freeze? Huh. I don't know. Maybe that's why everybody left. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Robert, Robert, you think that plays a big part into it? Because I noticed it was somebody else. Might have been, Brad's workbench. I don't know. I can't specifically remember whose video it was, but there was a video where somebody made talking about. Uh, oh wait, no, I think it was Justin Sturgill Trucking. And he's kind of local here. He's down in Cincinnati somewhere too. And he did a live stream talking about the prices and the financing of the Icon toolboxes. And he's just like me for the most part. He just kind of spews whatever. Like, he's not technically writing all this stuff down and giving out precise numbers and figures, but he's running this out. He's like, you're paying like $300 a month, roughly, or whatever, for this fucking toolbox from Harbor Freight of all places. So he did this video, and I did see somewhere in the comments to the actual video, the Den Tools came in there basically defending Harbor Freight and the Icon toolbox and calling dude out on his math. And, you know, the guy wasn't sitting there with a calculator, like literally adding stuff up. I mean, he was just roughly estimating based on, the rough figures that he had, been given so far. So, like, I have seen that kind of stuff. And so, do you think, Robert, that because he's doing this for a living, and I respect that, again, maybe one day I'll be big enough to actually make a living off this and I quit my job. God, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But do you think it's because he's making a living and like his income kind of depends on it that he defends his viewpoint so much, or he has so much loyalty to like Harbor Freight? Because I've noticed like like the Bauer stuff and a couple other things, and this was, a while ago, maybe even up to about a year. But I know that he was getting like insider information. So either he knows someone at Harbor Freight and they're feeding him stuff, or Harbor Freight's literally, officially feeding him stuff so that he can make videos on it. Yeah, I mean, his living is kind of based on his viewpoint, right? But I mean, there hasn't been. I want to say like back in the day, he had a lot more diversity in his channel, right? Like I think he covered more stuff. There was more stuff from different sources, and he still kind of does that. But I think we could all agree that the Harbor Freight stuff has been pretty paramount in his stuff. And again, man, like if that's cool for you to get to that level, then by all means go ahead. But like a lot of people were saying in his, yeah, I know he got that email from the CEO, so that was something. But then again, too, I know maybe not from the CEO, but I know other people like Cooter um, has received emails in response from Harbor Freight. So, I mean, yeah, the CEO is kind of an interesting thing, but yeah, I mean, it's not completely uncommon to get correspondence from him. But it's just, if you're going to be that big, if you're going to try to do something, like, I don't know, like, just do it right. I don't see, and then, like, attacking other people, like, calling my ethics into question because I'm asking him, if, and this is my honest viewpoint, right? If I got to a level where somebody gave me a $10,000 whatever the fuck to review, the first thing I would be thinking when I got this thing was, how the fuck am I going to review this? Right? Because if I don't do it right, nobody is going to believe me because I just got a $10,000 thing for free. That, I mean, I don't think like normal people, whatever. I don't know. I can't see how anyone could look at that and not think your viewpoint's going to be skewed at least a little bit. You're going to overlook some, I don't know, flaws in the paint or whatever. Like, I know one guy was talking that for the price point that they're asking, this better have a fucking show car quality paint job on it. No runs, no imperfections, buffed to a high shine. Like, and it's kind of true. You're paying a lot of money in the case of this stuff. And then, Jesus Christ, the hand tools and all of this stuff, like, okay, Robert, all viewpoints are skewed. Like, and elaborate on that a little bit. Like, how do you mean? Like, in what aspects? You think everything has perspective and background kind of built into it? Like, if you're a rich guy, you look at, like a Bugatti, like it's a Chevy Cavalier. Like, and if you're a poor guy, you look at a Mercedes, like it's a Bugatti. Like, are you referring to like the perspectives, kind of like experiences and things like that go into determining how you see things? Because I mean, that's kind of an interesting point. Like, I grew up poor, really poor. So, I have a hard time. I mean, yeah, I'm, I'm okay financially. I'm not rich, and I have a lot of stuff on credit right now, but I'm not poor. I'm definitely not anywhere near where I grew up as far as poor. But I have a hard time parting with my money. Like, I will buy everything for my kids, right? Okay. So Robert says, think about it. You pay 300 on a socket set. You're going to think it's better. Yeah, and I mean, it's possible. But okay, so Robert, back to uh, the Bears' earlier claims. Do you then think that somebody that gets something for free, let's not even talk about a price point. So let's say a $300 socket set, which is pretty normal. So let's say you get that and you pay for it, and then I get it for free. Do you think like I'm going to be more honest about the review of it because I didn't spend my money? Or do you think that you are going to be more critical of it because you actually spent your hard earned money on it? Okay, okay. So you think it goes a lot into, hey, X Country Adventures, good morning. We're talking tools and shills and product reviews and just general Sunday morning coffee stuff, I guess. But right now we're going over, who do you think, like, if two people get a product, one guy pays for it and one guy gets it for free, like say a YouTuber to do a product review, who do you think out of those two is going to give a more honest review, the guy that paid for it or the guy that got it for free? Because see, in the specific instance of what we're referring to, um, hold on, Robert said something. I think neither will be honest until they've had it for a while. And yes, and I think that's true too. And that's one of the other reasons that I'm so spellbound by everyone's fanboyism for the icon stuff is it's brand new. It's literally not even on the market yet. And I'm already seeing posts in like one of the mechanics forums that I'm on of the few people that are actually getting like icon stuff in their store. Some guy, well, I saw two posts yesterday, guys running out and oh my god, we found the icon stuff and they're buying the ratcheting wrench set for, I think they're saying $99 now. When Client Graphics did his video, I could have swore he said 109.99. Maybe I misheard, or maybe they're using that $10 off 100 coupon. I don't know, but yeah, so they're saying $99 now. Um, but these, okay, we all know they're rebranded something. Supposedly, it's like a Carlisle kind of knockoff. To some degree, they're very similar, but they're completely untested. I mean, as far as any longevity goes, and everybody says, "Oh, just by looking at it, you can tell it's built well. It's gonna last." Da, da, da. I've seen lots of things that were built real well, that were real nice, that were premium things. I'm just speaking in general, but I've seen lots of, not crappy quality, like kind of name brand things break the fuck up. Like electrical stuff, mechanical stuff. Like I've seen all kinds of shit break before, what should have been time. You can name the product in the line, and there's always something that follows that. Okay, so Robert says he's had a bad experience with Snap on, and someone like him could jump on board with a Snap-on killer, just because he's kind of like jaded, I'm guessing, in terms of DIY misfit mechanic creeping. So he's kind of jaded to Snap-on. Okay, and there's gonna be some of that. I think um, there are different, people that do different things. Like my whole thing with the icon stuff and all these premium tools, to some um, extent, is people are talking about all the, yeah, like, oh, I broke my ratcheting wrench doing this, or the fitment's better on these wrenches. I will tell, hey, Fitness, what's going on, buddy? I haven't seen you in a little while. Um, so I've had the Pittsburgh Pro. I want to say they're Pro. The stubby ratchet, or the stubby wrench set, the basic bitch, box end, open end. Um, Hey, Fitness Psycho, you will want to know this. I'm streaming on mobile, even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers, because I'm using an app called Prism. It's available for iPhone, it's available for Android, and I think there's a version available for the computer as well. You can multi-stream with it, but I am streaming and I have less than 1,000 subs on mobile, so it is possible. Okay, so um shit, what was I saying? Okay, so I have these Pittsburgh Pro, the basic stubby ratchets, right? I it's spelled different, no O in Prism, but yeah, Prism, like the light crystal thing. So anyway, I got these wrenches. I took them to work. They've been at work with me, God, going on like 3 or 4 years. And we're in the industrial side, so they're always getting used. I have yet to have a problem with the fitment of them. They've not swelled or expanded. Uh, they've not done anything bad. As a matter of fact, in one of them, like, I needed a slim profile to get into something that I couldn't get into. Well, somebody else did, and I had those. Nobody wants to grind on their fucking expensive ass. We use a lot of Westward and stuff that they buy from Granger. But nobody wants to grind on their expensive wrenches, so I grabbed out my stubby 12 millimeter, and we ground it down pretty much flush with the handle and got it in where it needed to go. And the guy was like, "Oh, thanks, da da da." And yeah, like, these are like $10 wrenches, right? Like, who cares? But I've not had a problem. They're still in my toolbox. Actually, I got the one that was SAE and metric. And the thing is there's not much SAE at work, but sometimes it comes into play, and they work well for that. Like, all our fans are usually installed by contractors or facilities, and all those guys use the standard. Nobody has standard wrenches at work because we don't really use them that much. I'm the only guy with a set of them, so every time they need them, they either use channel locks or something like that if they can get to it. But all the smart ones come to me and ask for my SAE stubby set and do it that way. So I've not had a problem with the cheap wrenches. Now, when you go real cheap, and we all know what real cheap is, then yeah, you run into a big problem when you're talking about the really crappy drop forged Chinese stuff. I mean, we know what all that looks like. But in terms of like a half decent wrench, I'm not seeing it. I don't see that Snap-on's gonna outperform every other wrench by leaps and bounds. It's all a tool. It all does the same thing. You got a fastener this big, you put a wrench on it, you turn it. If it's stuck, if your wrench can't get it, or you think it's gonna slip, that's when you get a socket, or you get a 6-point, or you get a breaker bar, or the right tool for the application. Like, and some guy in something somewhere, it might have been the Den of Tools fiasco yesterday, but he goes, oh, or no, I think it was on one of my videos, my icon video. he started talking about, oh well, mechanics aren't going to do that. They're going to break it loose with their ratchet so they can save time, so they can make more money. I don't know who those fucking mechanics are, but they're goddamn stupid. You're spending $20,000 on all these fucking tools, and you're telling me you're not going to take the 2 seconds to go over to your very organized toolbox where you know right where your breaker bar and your socket or whatever it is that you need is, and grab that and come over here and do this right so you don't snap your $30 wrench? You serious? Like, who are these fucking mechanics? Like, and that's my thing, guys, is like I was telling somebody at work the other day, I was talking about my YouTube channel, and I'm really proud to be up to the 450 something subscribers that I'm at. I'm really proud. And this Sunday morning coffee thing, I don't know, maybe I'll try to do it more. But like I've fought and clawed to get to the spot where I'm at now, and I'm now starting to get better as far as videos and knowing what people want to see. I still don't do like a lot of the polished stuff. Like, I'm not about that. I'm probably never going to be about that. I'll just throw some stuff on. I'll edit as best I can, you know, and whatnot. I'm not trying to make professional quality videos. I just do what I do. But Robert, don't do it. Go get the right tool for the job. That's when I was doing my industrial trade training, some of it. Our instructor, who's a really smart guy, crazy smart, probably like bordering on genius level as far as automation and what we do. If you dare do something incorrectly, like we don't splice wires when we're building cabinets, we don't half-ass anything. If he saw you using the wrong tool for the wrong application, he would literally come up and put one upside your head. He's not fucking playing. Like, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm just trying to, oh, yeah, real quick, you're just trying to, no, go get the right tool for the job that you're doing and do it right. Take the extra 2 seconds. Like, and I get mechanics are under a time crunch. I know that more than most. Like, when shit is down at my work, that means it's not running and they're not getting parts and production's flipping out. We're getting closer and closer to missing a shipment or a quota that we're trying to hit. I mean, when our stuff is down, it's a big fucking deal. And they are on our asses. What's wrong with it? What's going on? How long is it going to take? What do you need to fix it? Da, da, da. Not like they're going to help us, but they just want to know. So, I mean, I know the time crunch. I know the pressure. My pay doesn't depend on it, but my well-being does. If you want to not suffer the consequences of being a marked man, you get it done, and you get it done as quick as possible. So, I mean, I understand the time crunch, but still, I mean, things take how long they take. You know, if you need to go get the right tool to do something versus just trying to wrench at something incorrectly, I mean, that's what you got to do. If it takes an extra 10 minutes to go get the right tool and come back, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I don't know. The flat rate guys, probably, yeah. I mean, I could see that. I'm not dogging on it, but I just, man, if you're going to break your tools or do something silly like that, that's just not great. Okay. Yeah, you did automation on a cell phone manufacturer? That's interesting. We build car parts, subframes, suspension components, from start to finish, starting with rolled steel, and it goes out the door and to the manufacturer to be put on a car. So, I mean, we do the whole process, stamping, welding. I've worked in almost every single department in the building, so it's challenging. It's not too bad, but it could always be a little less stressful. There's usually either nothing going on or you're busy as fuck. There's no real in between. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Um, I just wish, like, tools was a really bad idea. I started out um, rebuilding cars. Right. Well, I not rebuilding. Okay. Technically, it's a rebuild, but fixing wrecked vehicles. That's was the idea that I started my channel under, and then I was like, okay, like normal car repairs and stuff, I'll throw in here for whatever I'm working on. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna need some stuff to fill in the gaps when I don't have projects, so I threw on tool reviews. I was telling somebody at work the other day uh, that I should have just done like a sock puppet fucking channel. Something stupid. Huh? Little. Like, I should have done something like that. It'd be easier, it'd be a lot less drama, a lot less stuff. Because, like, somebody was asking me, like, oh, that's gotta be really cool, like cars and tools and stuff. I'm like, no, it's not really cool because everybody is so fucking particular about their brands and their thoughts on everything. And I was like, God forbid you do a fucking video on body work or painting, you're gonna get 1,000 people telling you you're doing it wrong, even if you follow every step by the book. Like, it's really tough, and you get a lot of people. Like, I got one guy who's a hater. I haven't seen him in a little while. His name's Tool Jesus, and he hates on my videos. I mean, but it's not even that bad, really, though, because, like, for the most part, he's actually trying to give me, like, constructive criticism. Like, forget what it was. I think it was the Harbor Freight video that I did about where they're going to be in 5 years or whatever. Um, and I was talking about all these new brands I'd never heard of: Bauer, McGraw, Icon. I think I was the first one to call out that Icon breaker bar as being. Somebody said it's like an inch longer. It's the same fucking thing as the Pittsburgh. It's the same fucking thing, and they're charging almost double for it. Like, that was my first inkling that the Icon tool line was going to be shit. And Justin Dow said something in his video where he talked to the Icon team, and they claimed that, oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, it was a fucking mistake because you got caught. Whoever fucking designed that tool didn't do anything. They said, oh, we'll just make it a little bit longer, and yeah, it's the same thing. Same grip, just says Icon. Breaker bar's identical. You know the metal's the same. Any of us that have worked in the industry and knows about stamping or molds or any of that stuff, adding an inch to something, especially on a straight section like that where it's just the bar section, is easy. Easy, like real easy. So I bet there's probably like a jig change in between the Pittsburgh and the Icon to get that extra inch, where they take another little block and put it in, and then when they go to run Pittsburgh, they take it out, squeeze it back together, and then they're running Pittsburgh. So that's real easy, and I called that out. I think I was the first one to actually call it out, and I just mentioned it in the video. But that's the thing, man. Like, a lot of this stuff is not the premium stuff that they're claiming, and I don't. I just don't see paying the prices for it. I don't see. Yeah, it's quality. Maybe it'll break less, but then if you're breaking tools like that, then obviously you have some kind of other issue going on. I don't see it. Huh. Okay. Yeah, Cooter, that sounds like a big problem. When the system goes down, you can't direct planes for the air traffic controllers. Yeah, I think Robert, I think you're right. And I saw the writing on the wall. I was talking to a buddy of mine a little while ago, and I said they have this coupon. I'm on my phone, so I can't pull it up and show you guys, but they have that coupon, $5 off any Pittsburgh Pro ratchet, and to my knowledge, I don't think it literally says on it there's no expiration date. So that tells you that they're liquidating the Pittsburgh Pro stuff. And then I think they're going to come out with the Quinn versions of all those Pittsburgh Pro ratchets. And I swear to God, fuck their good, better, best bullshit. I'm pretty sure that Quinn is going to take over and Pittsburgh will be no more. There might be some Pittsburgh specialty tools or something here and there, but I think as far as sockets and ratchets and all that, it's going to be Quinn, it's going to be Icon. And those are going to be your two choices. I just don't see them keeping around the Pittsburgh line, especially when you hold, okay, the minor differences. I don't count minor fucking differences, okay? If this one looks a little better than this one's laser etched and this one's stamped, I don't see a big difference there. I really don't. But if you look at the Pittsburgh, and I sent a set to Cooter, so he's got one and he knows. You hold the Pittsburgh set with the ratchet and the sockets together, the SAE and metric, the big little kit, whatever. You hold that next to the Quinn. They're identical. The fucking handles are identical. The only thing that's different is this one says Quinn and it's blue and gray, and this one says Pittsburgh and it's green and black. That's it. But the Quinn is what, like $5-6 more? Like, it boggles my fucking mind. And people, when even they're sitting there on the fucking shelf together, right? Like, they're right here, Quinn, Pittsburgh, right next to each other, and people go, "Oh, look at this new Quinn stuff." Are you fucking moron? You can't look at that and tell that that's the same thing as that? Just like, you really, I thought about it, but I don't care to waste my money. I thought about pulling them both apart because it's supposed to be a Quinn ratchet, right? It's better. So I thought about pulling them both and open them up to show that they're literally the same inside, but it's not a point. There's no point to it, because if you can't tell by looking at them that they're exactly the same, then there's not a lot of hope for you in this world. And these are the people that keep getting scammed on, that keep believing, I don't know, stupid shit people say. Like, it's just, where'd all the common sense go? Where'd all the, like, critical thinking go? Like, you can't look at that and tell it's the same thing and this one's $5 more than this one? Like, that's the stuff that boggles my mind. And I really do. I think that sometime in the future, probably sooner than later, I think that the Pittsburgh line is going to be ended and that it'll be Quinn. Because look at what happened. Yes, most people are stupid, Robert. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in, I guess. But, like, look what happened with the Pittsburgh hand tools. And then what I'm referring to here are like the pliers, the vice grips. I think they still have some like sets and things, but this is what happened before. Sorry, I've been getting lazy and laying down. I just noticed you can only see my head. This is what happened when Doyle and I think Quinn as well came into their hand tool side. They liquidated all the Pittsburgh Pro stuff. So now there is, like I said, there may still be a couple like set pieces, yada, 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 the big sets or whatever. But as far as like the individual, like wire cutters, pliers, channel locks, all that, there's no Pittsburgh Pro versions of that anymore. Not in the individual category. Now it's all Doyle is your best or whatever bullshit, and then Quinn, and then there are still some Pittsburgh, like really cheap versions of a couple things, but it's not like it was. It used to be the whole section was Pittsburgh Pro. Misfit Mechanic says he resembles that remark. No, I really don't. Like, most of us, like, if you're smart enough to start a YouTube channel or to be active in the community, I think you're decent enough to probably know your way around some stuff. I mean, we all watch this stuff so that we can get tips and tricks and inside information. Somebody tells you about a sale on something that you didn't know about, or a new product comes out, you want to get somebody else's opinion on it that it's already bought it, that kind of stuff. But uh the one guy that I was talking about earlier, my buddy that has his YouTube channel, he goes, man, like, I don't, and this is, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, I guess. He goes, because I was like, I was talking to him about something, and I was like, man, like, all these other tech channels, like, go into the fucking details, right? Like I said earlier, like, his most expensive thing was a camera that he did that was MSRP'd around like 1200 or whatever. And I was like, man, all these other channels and people go into like the fucking details, right? Like, oh, the shutter speed, at a f.180 aperture and a 50 millimeter lens. They go into all these details about all this stuff that they're reviewing. And I said, you really don't do that. Like, he kind of has like a comedy to it. Uh, and like a little bit and like a banter kind of thing. I mean, he still goes over features and stuff, but he doesn't go like crazy in depth, like real technical reviews or anything. And I kind of like, I asked him about that, like, so why do you do it that way? Why don't you go into like the super technical aspect of it? He goes, man, I don't make reviews for smart people. Smart people already know whether or not they're going to buy this camera. Smart people aren't, looking at, this new tech and wondering about it. They already are smart enough to kind of know what they need to know, whether or not it's a good product. But he goes, I make reviews for dumb people. I make them for people that have no fucking idea, that just want to buy something just to buy it. Like I need a camera, so who says this is the best camera, or who says this is a good camera for my price point, or whatever. Like, he goes, I make reviews for people that don't know anything about cameras or anything about whatever the hell he's talking about that day. He goes, I'm not going into all the technical aspects and all this and that and this and that. He goes, I I don't need to. I'm not making reviews for smart people. He goes, smart people that know cameras aren't really watching reviews. They already know. They can listen to the specs and tell you how good that camera's probably going to perform. I make videos for dumb people. So, and I think a lot of that, like, you see on YouTube, like, who is it? Some fucking, who were the guys that keep putting stupid shit into car engines and blowing them up? Like, they did, like, Flex Seal. They tried to, like, put WD-40 in as oil. They've done Mountain Dew in a radiator. I forget what the fucking channel is, but it's like, these are the guys. Like, this is the thing. It's a car channel, because they're blowing up cars by putting shit they're not supposed to in the engine. Like, they did one where they ran a Toyota on like baby oil, and they were surprised that it worked. It worked for a period of time, who knows how long, but it worked as far as the video goes. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's oil, it's baby oil. I mean, it's gonna lubricate. It's not gonna break down real fast. Uh, but like, and they got hundreds of thousands. Like, their fucking channel's huge, and it's just them doing stupid shit. And that's a perfect example. People are not watching, the majority of people are not watching these videos because they're fucking smart. They're watching these videos because they're dumb and they want 10 minutes of entertainment or whatever. And yeah, it's kind of clickbaity. Like, anybody with half a fucking brain goes, well, what's going to happen when we put Flex Seal in this engine? Everybody with any common sense knows what's going to happen. The engine's going to lock up. that's it. Like, you knew what was going to happen when you clicked on the video if you had any common sense. But it's got, I want to say it's got like millions of fucking views. Because they're not making videos for mechanics. They're not making videos for car guys. They're making videos for any stupid fuck that's going to click on that and go, oh, I wonder what happened. Hey, David. Good morning, buddy. How's it going? You're actually up kind of early. Well, I guess it is noon. I'm going to go get some coffee. And this will prove to you guys that I'm on mobile a little more than I already claimed, because now I'm going to the kitchen. So yeah, this app is awesome. And my kitchen's a mess. I don't want to hear it. I don't want everybody talking shit about my ugly kitchen. I'm getting some coffee. Yeah, David's good for that. I'm a third shifter. He is not, and he gets a little more daylight than me, but that also means that he doesn't have to wake up at the crack of dawn. So lucky for him, I guess. He's one of my buddies from work. He can attest to a lot of the stupid shit that they put us through. What's wrong with my shirt? The fuck? Yeah, if I didn't mention, guys, I am the laughing stock / class clown of work, and everybody picks on me. David's pretty good, though. Like, he's one of the ones I can actually stand for long periods of time. Hey, David. David's not a YouTuber, by the way. Hey, David. I know you're listening. What would you say... Okay, hold on. Let me get my shit back up here. All right. David, what would you say if I told you that a YouTuber, a pretty decent one, not too horrible, but a YouTuber was given a 10,000, yes, you can call me dickhead, misfit, yes, if you must. It kind of has that theme going up here. So, David, what would you say if I told you that a YouTuber was given a $10,000 toolbox, to review, to give his honest thoughts on it? Do you think someone who's given a $10,000 toolbox is going to be able to give an unbiased review? Misfit, you're an ass. Knowing my luck, David hopped in and hopped out, and he didn't even hear that. That's probably the state of things. But okay, guys, so hold on. Let me show you something. I'll give you guys a sneak peek. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave the camera. All right, I am back. Yeah, David. Yeah, it would be a hard one. $10,000 fucking toolbox. How are you not gonna be happy with it? I mean, it's not a $500 toolbox, right? Okay, guys, so check this out. I found this at Walmart the other day. Apparently, it's not really new, but for the features, okay, for the features that it has and the price point that it's offered at, it's actually a really good ratchet. It's only like 40 some teeth, right? But it's not bad. It's a 3/8 drive. It's extendable from, I think this is about, I want to say maybe 8 inches rough length, and it extends out to 14. So that's cool. Then it's got a flex head on it, right? So you got all your different positions of your flex head, but it's also locking. So there's a push button on the side, and then you can lock it into position and it won't move. So what you have here is an extendable locking flex head ratchet, and I got this at Walmart for like $22. I bought a bunch of them. I'm going to give these two away. I'm waiting. If any of you have watched my grip video, or either one of them, there's a long one, there's a short one. But if you have watched my grip video, I ordered some cold shrink tubing because the knurling on this handle sucks, and it's just a shaft, right? There's not much to it. So I ordered some more grips, and I'm going to put grips on these two and the one that I bought for myself. And I'm going to give these away at some point. I'm also going to do an actual video on them. There's like 4 videos on YouTube about people talking about that, and some of them are up to like 5 years old. But for the features that you get, it's not a bad deal. It goes on sale for $12. Where? When? What are you talking about, Robert? I've not seen it. I mean, hell, that's the first time I've seen it. See, that's where I'm at, Misfit Mechanic. Like, everybody's talking about, oh my gosh, 90 tooth ratchet. And I'm sure what do they call that? The paw or whatever in there. I'm sure it engages pretty good. But, yeah, man, you're trying to put a lot of pressure on a very fine tooth thing. Like, that's going to be iffy. Who is it? I think it's Proto at Walmart. Okay, well, the next time that happens, you email me at justwrenchit, yt@gmail.com, and you let me know. I'll drive somewhere and I'll buy them for $12, because I bought 3 of them for like 20 something. So that was like $75. Don't tell the fiance. But, yeah, the fine tooth ratchets. Who is it? Proto. Aren't they the ones that have... Their ratchet has like 6 small paws, and they're all the way around. I want to say it's Proto. And that, I think I would trust that a little bit more, because you have even engagement all the way around the surface. But the standard ratchets, the fine tooth ones, man, yeah, like, that's kind of iffy to put that much pressure on the, the ratchet. And like this one, it's like 44 tooth, and that might be why. Because it's got the extendable handle, right? And you would think, like, oh, we have 72 tooth. That's pretty common, right? So maybe that's why it's only 40-something teeth, is to give it a little more force for the torque. I don't know. Could be. I think the warranty is going to be interesting on these. I don't know what the hell, but it does say don't take it back to the store. It says call Stanley, and they give some fucking 1-800 number here. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have to figure that out. But for the... Okay, hold on. No, David. No. You might abuse stuff, but you guys lose tools. David complains all the time about his tools coming up missing, and claims that he's not going to replace any of them until his son is out of the house, because they disappear. I even bought him like one of those decorative things from like one of those shit stores like Hobby Lobby or something that said like basically like hands off my tools, don't touch them. But yeah, like it's, and luckily I don't have that problem. My problem is organization and time. Like I don't have time to clean up my garage. I go out there, I work on something, I pull some stuff out. I've cleaned it up a couple of times, but I can never keep it clean. because I always have something going on, it seems. And like, whether it's in the garage or in the house or whatever, I always have something else happening. Like, so when I go out there, like I'm doing this body work on the truck, I go out there, I mix up some fiberglass or whatever, I'm doing some fiberglass, and then I just throw it back on there and then I get out because, like, I don't have that much time to work on it between work and everything else. So I hardly ever clean up my garage. I see these guys. I see these guys with these pristine garages, and I don't understand where they get that kind of time. I mean, maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like an organizational thing and I just haven't tapped into yet. I don't know. But I can't keep it organized. I can put everything away a couple of times and I can keep it sort of organized. But if there's any kind of active project going on, my garage is a mess. Why am I a reverse image? You did something, Cooter, because everything on my end looks the same, from what I can tell. David still has a screwdriver set that I gave him in the package because he won't open them because he doesn't want his son to ruin them or lose them or whatever. See, and that's what I was thinking. Like, I got 6 of you in here. David's one of them, and David, I do appreciate it. You coming by and hanging out. But like, here's my thing. Here's my whole goal with my channel. Like, I make a decent amount of money already anyway. Do I want to make some money from YouTube? Of course I do, right? Is it going to be enough to supplement my income if nothing crazy happens? No. But like, as far as like products and things, man, like, if and when, like, I've been trying. I've tried a couple of things. I haven't got a lot of like bites back because again, I'm small. But with like, in terms of like products and stuff, when I start getting products to review and things to do and actually making some money from the channel that I can throw back into it, I'm gonna be giving a lot of that stuff away. Like, that's actually been one of my whole goals, is that once I can get to that level and actually like do better reviews, like get the money from the channel to buy a tool, say a drill or an impact driver or whatever, and do the review on it, chances are I'm not going to need that tool specifically. So then I give it away. Like, I bought 2 drills. I have a Hyper Tough 20-volt drill, and I have a Bauer drill. I know. I bought a Bauer drill kit. I bought these 2 drills because I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of them. The video's several minutes behind. I don't know what's going on there, Cooter. But I have these 2 drills. I plan on doing a video review of how they stack up next to each other because everybody says the Bauer's awesome, and I want to see if it can outperform this Hyper Tough by leaps and bounds, because if it doesn't, then it's not a mid-range drill. So I have those, but I don't need them, right? I have my Ryobi stuff, I have my Cobalt stuff, so I don't need these drills. So once I'm done with it, I'm going to give them away. Like, because like, I don't need to keep them. I don't want them specifically. I definitely don't want the Bauer stuff. We all know the Bauer stuff is, I don't know, I think it's hit and miss. You can watch my video on where the sourcing comes from for some of the Bauer stuff. But basically, all the Bauer stuff is rebranded shit that's been around for years. Nothing new, nothing innovative about any of it. I don't know. I just don't think for the price point. Like, what is it? It's $69 normally. If you're lucky and you're running a coupon at the time, you can get a kit for $59. But as far as the old, not the Atomic, But as far as the old DeWalt stuff, the old, what is it, 20 volt XR or whatever, as far as those go, and those should be dropping in price because of the new atomic stuff coming out, you can get a DeWalt drill kit for like 99 bucks. And we use DeWalt at work. Like, right? Like, that's one of the main cordless tool brands that we use. And, dude, we've got some of them that are old as fuck that still have, like, the NiCad batteries. And they still run, right? They still run great. Like, our DeWalt stuff does really good. The batteries, our batteries, they can be kind of touch and go, but we go through a lot of them, so I'm not really faulting that on DeWalt as far as their longevity. I mean, we use the fuck out of some of these, and others are probably in a cabinet somewhere and have barely been used at all, so it's kind of touch and go on the batteries. But yeah, the DeWalt stuff is really good. I mean, really good. Like, I don't think I've seen more than like one or two of the old ones actually burn up. None of the new ones have. And for, what is that? You know, you call it double the price. For about $40 more, you get something that's proven to be reliable, that you know you're probably not going to have any issues with, that is contractor grade, versus like the Bauer. I've pulled that thing out of the box already. I mean, it feels kind of cheap. It's kind of light. It's not very heavy. Definitely feels like cheap plastic. And, you know, I mean, does it function? Is it going to function? Yeah. But see, that's why I want to compare it to this HyperTough drill. The HyperTough drill is a single speed. There's no selector on it. There's like a little bit of chuck. Maybe like 15, I think, settings on the chuck. But there's not much to it. So if the HyperTough $20, $24 drill, if that thing can hold its own against the Bauer, what is that really saying about the Bauer? And yeah, that's going to be on single speed, but for anybody who really knows anything about drills, you're not really supposed to drill on the second speed. You're only supposed to drill on the first speed because that's the one with the low torque needed for drilling. So I think a lot of people should know about that. But yeah, so we'll see what happens later in terms of the drill test. I'm going to try to get to that video. I'm trying to get to the truck stuff. I'm trying to get to a lot of the stuff, guys. Just too much going on. I'm going to set you guys down for a minute. I will be right back. Alright, and we are back. So, freshening up the coffee here a little. Trying to. So, okay, so let's get off topic. I know a lot of you guys that are into tools are usually more mechanically inclined, and that generally determines a certain kind of person. But what do you guys think? I mean, yeah, Robert, you could, yeah, stuff like wood, small stuff, like without a lot of resistance, you can. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're using like a 1-inch spade bit, you probably shouldn't. But like, yeah, like little stuff like that. But metal or anything real, or if you're using your drill to do like any real driving, like self tappers or anything like that, you don't want to use the second speed. Okay, so let's get. I, this is my little tiny setup, like my little miniature tripod, and it's a pain in the ass to get set up. So let's switch topics here a little bit. We've talked tools to death in the hour and 40 minutes that I've been on here. So what do you guys think about Walmart's new policy against open carry? Because I know one of my buddies here in Ohio doesn't have his permit, and he actually open carries, and that's his main source of what he does as far as carrying a firearm. So, and he used to open carry in Walmart. So I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to him specifically since all that happened, but supposedly now they would rather you not open carry in Walmart. So, I mean, yeah, it depends. I guess, Cooter. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what kind of open carry you're talking about. Like, I don't even like, what was the guy in like Missouri or something? The asshole went in after the shooting. I'm in Ohio. Like, I'm in Dayton is where I was born and raised. So I'm not far from it. I can get there in like 20 minutes. But, so like that kind of hit home to me. But then again, too, like, I don't see like these instances happening as a reason to limit gun rights. Okay? And the way I see it, like, okay, here's my whole problem with this. Oh, we don't want you to open carry, and now they're talking about banning. They're always talking about banning something, but they're talking about trying to ban open carry, right? So, here's my thing. Let's just say a lot of people like Cooter are saying like open carry's stupid anyway, right? And that guy will get shot first. Okay, well, let's just wipe that off the table. Let's just say that they ban open carry, like that they ban it and you're not allowed to open carry a firearm. Concealed carry is the only method to carry a firearm. Okay, and that's all well and good. But then what happens when, like, say you're carrying, and this happens to me sometimes. So, yeah, of course, Cooter, of course it's just your opinion. But let's say that you're printing. And for anybody that doesn't know, printing is, depending on what you're wearing, you might be able to visibly tell that somebody's carrying a firearm. And this can vary. Like if you're just standing there, maybe not. But if you're going about your business and you're moving and bending over and doing things, like it could be possible to be like printing, right? So what happens if they ban open carry and then someone catches you because you're printing, right? And they can tell you have a firearm. And then that incites panic or something. Like, would that then be like against the law? Would it be, if you can only conceal and carry, right? Then is any time anybody sees your firearm going to be against the rules or against the law or whatever have you? Do you see what I'm saying? So like me, for instance, when I'm getting in and out of my vehicle, Like sometimes, depending on what I'm wearing, it's easier, right, for me to pull the gun out, or if I've been traveling, like if I'm coming home from work, I haven't had it on me and it's in a compartment in my car. And so then when I get out of the car finally, I pull it out from that compartment, I put it in my holster, and then I go into my house. Like that few seconds or whatever that I'm standing in the street in front of my house with a gun in my hand, if they ban open carry, would that be a problem then? Like, is that something that would cause concern for people? Because the whole idea with open carry being a problem is like, from what I can tell, anti-gun people don't want to see it. Like it scares me, or there's this argument that, we don't know if this guy's like up to no good. Chances are, if he's got his gun holstered on his side or whatever have you, and he's going about his business, then he's going about his business. Shooters don't walk into places and act like nothing's wrong. They know, like, they're gonna get engaged quickly, so they just start shooting, right? Like there's no, I haven't seen anything about like a shooter playing coy, using like open carry as a way to get deep into some populated area and then go into town or something. Like that's just not what we're seeing. So I don't know, like getting rid of open carry or trying to ban it or saying that people shouldn't do it, I think that's a slippery slope. Um, I mean, like, okay, the way people drive sometimes, Robert, like, that scares me. I mean, like, I was just walking into McDonald's the other day with my daughter and this younger guy, and whatever, forget what, it was like a small SUV or something, but he was like, barreling through the parking lot and end up slamming on his brakes all crazy because he's trying to get to the drive-through line super fast or something. And like, I mean, he didn't like almost hit me or anything like that, but like, he was going way too fast. I had to slam on his brakes because me and my daughter were walking through the parking lot. And then he kind of looked at me like I was a fucking asshole for that. So like, I mean, the way some people drive, scare me, but that doesn't mean that they can't drive that way. I mean, was he doing something slightly reckless? Yeah, probably. But just because I have a gun and you're intimidated or afraid or whatever have you of it, you have a certain kind of feeling about it, that shouldn't be a problem for me, right? Because I'm not doing anything wrong. Right? If I'm not breaking the law, if I'm not brandishing it or causing a panic or anything like that, like I just don't see. That's like me saying you can't drink because I don't like it. Like at a bar. Like that's like me going into a bar and going, "What's with all these alcoholics drinking? I feel unsafe. I don't feel like I could be here." And they're like, "Well, yeah, but you're not drinking and you're in a bar." "Oh, it doesn't matter. It makes me feel better." And then say like starting to limit people's drinks or something at a bar, like, "Oh, you can only drink 3 drinks," or whatever have you. It's just, if somebody else has a problem with it, it's already, in a lot of places, it's already a legal thing, right? So if somebody else has a problem with it, right, that's their problem. That shouldn't, I don't think, that shouldn't then play onto a law abiding citizen who's exercising their rights in generally a place that would already allow open carry. Like, does Walmart have the right to refuse or to ask people not to open carry in their store? Yeah, like they do. And I've been to Walmart since then and I conceal and I haven't had a problem and that's fine. But like, the point is that if we let other people determine what we can or can't do based on their feelings, I think that that's a really slippery slope to like walk down, because like, okay, now it's guns, like I said, but then like, okay, so when's it going to be alcohol? When's it going to be how you raise your kids, which kind of is already there a little bit, but like, at what point does somebody else then get to say that I never see so and so's kids outside playing, so I want the state to go into that house and find out what's going on, because from the time that they get home to the time they leave in the morning, I never see any people, and I want to know what's going on in that house because the kids aren't outside playing. Like, like, that's the thing, is like, you start letting other people who have not much vested interest dictate things for people who are exercising these rights or living their lives a certain way, then that just opens up this whole can of worms into, like, because the majority of people, right, that would not want people to open carry are people that don't know much about guns, don't exercise their rights with guns, and all this, that, and the other. So you're going to let people that are already biased towards guns in either ignorance or um, just plain not liking it and having that kind of anti mentality, you're going to let them then dictate what law abiding gun owners can or can't do based on their feelings, how they feel about it, when they're not experts. That's like letting, you know, it's like letting uh, DIY mechanics choose what's okay for NASCARs to run on their engines. Like, it doesn't make any sense because they don't know high performance engines. Like, it's, oh, well, these fast engines scare me, so and I don't understand them, so I think we should all have four cylinders, high output, turbo four cylinders rather than these V8, V10. Are they V10? I don't even know. I don't know NASCAR. But it's like, you're letting someone who could give a fuck less about the topic in general and has relatively little to no knowledge about it instruct what the people who are experts and the people who do use or otherwise exercise determine. Like, it's just, that whole mentality just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And here in Ohio, everybody pretty much likes guns. There's not many people who don't. Um, and Walmart here, there's no sign up. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anybody open carrying, but I bet they're not going to be very confrontational about it, because if they start yapping their jaws too much, they're going to get like a lot of backlash, because out here, man, like, I think more people carry or open carry or conceal carry than don't. Like, it's just how it is here. Like, we're definitely a red state for the most part. What am I watching, DIY? What am I waiting for? And why do you have a beer, dude? It's like 12:30, at least Eastern Standard Time where I'm at. The fiance got up. She's next to me on the couch, staring at me like I'm an asshole. I'd show you, but then she'd probably kill me. Alright, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for my philosophical discussion today. I covered enough stuff. I've been on here for about 2 hours. Uh, oh, yeah, you really could. Yeah, she opened a Coke. She drinks a Coke first thing in the morning every day. I don't understand it, but it's what she does. But, yeah, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I figured I'd change the topic at least a little bit before I got off here. Anyhow, keep an eye out, guys, for a video about this, more videos about the truck, a video about the drill review. Yeah, keep an eye out. There's going to be more stuff. I try to get to it when I can, when the fiance allows me to actually do YouTube videos. So,
Video of me kicking your ass.
no, she's not going to kick my ass. Not while the camera's on. That's proof. That's evidence. If anything happens to me, guys, you know who to call. All right, guys. Well, anyhow, this is Matt from Just Wrench It. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Sunday morning. Maybe I'll try to make this a more regular thing. But I will see you guys later. You're always sleeping.
No.
Always sleeping.
We also have the kids.
All right. Anyhow, guys, Matt from Just Wrench It. I will see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys.
Kids.
Yeah.